When you think of Detroit, Michigan, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Maybe it's blight, maybe it's abandoned buildings, or maybe it's the fact that the Lions haven't won a playoff game since 1991. Still rooting for you, Lions. Well, all that may be true about Detroit, but the city has come a long way over the years. There's been a lot of redevelopment, a lot of regrowth, and in today's video, we're going to take a closer look at Brush Park, one of the most up-and-coming neighborhoods right here in downtown Detroit that's been getting a lot of attention from developers and folks that are looking to live downtown. So stick around because I'm going to take you on a tour, walk you around Brush Park, show you what it's like, and we're going to hop in for a private tour of one of the coolest developments that has been 6 years in the making, and you are not going to want to miss this. All right, so we're here in downtown Detroit in Brush Park. We're gonna take a look at some new developments today. This one right behind me is the Henry Glover House. Across the street is a development called City Modern. And then there's a lot of new developments on the other side of the street off of Alfred. So this one that I'm gonna take you through today is the Henry Glover House. Like I said, I believe this is one of the nicest projects that I've seen. And the person that is developing it is not a commercial developer. He's actually a retired IT director who thought it'd be cool to rebuild part of Detroit's history. And this project came up, he bought the building and started rehabbing it. So we'll show you some before and afters on this. But right behind me is the old part of the building. So when you see that little porch area right there, there's a whole entire new development on the back side of this. The area that I'm standing right here, this is gonna be a fire pit. This is all communal space. These are gonna be parking spots. Just on the other side here is the garage areas. And then above that, they're calling that the carriage house. That's an entire separate unit. So I'm gonna take you up to the penthouse as well, but we're gonna take a sneak peek at this. Nobody has been through this yet. Nobody has seen the inside and it's almost near completion. This has been 3 years in the making. So we're actually looking at these places for one of our clients, but this is the developer, Doug. Say hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Hey, Doug. Well, we're gonna take a look inside. Doug told me he didn't want to be on camera before, but tell us a little bit about the project, Doug.
Well, so Henry Glover built this house in 1874. Boarding house, probably 1915 or so, as most of the houses around here were turned into that. Mostly vacant the past 50 years before I purchased it. Purchased it 6 years ago this month, actually. Been working at it ever since.
So 6 years in the making, and we are finally near completion. These are going to be ready in September, October timeframe?
Yep. So,
awesome. Well, let's go check it out.
We'll miss the carriage stop stone over there. So it's an interesting find that somebody found it and held on to it for 20 years, 15 years, waiting for somebody to actually fix up
this big stone right here. This is what Doug is talking about.
What we today call the beeswell, but it was just where carriages would pull up and people would step out onto that before they step on it.
It's a pretty cool find. And I think Bill told me the story about this was not even here. This was in some other part of Detroit, and they saw it and they contacted you. And
no, actually it was here. So when they were tearing down buildings in preparation for the Super Bowl 18 years ago, they were tearing down the duplex that used to sit between the two houses here. And he saw it. It was up front and it was like under the wheel. So he surmised that corner was chipped by the backhoe that was excavating and bulldozing.
Love those little finds. This is what you get when you run into the owner here. You get the inside scoop on what's actually going on. Anybody would have looked at that and be like, yeah, it's just a big stone that says Glover. But there you go. All right, let's take a look at this place. This place is absolutely amazing. Okay, so as we come in here, we have common area. So this is gonna take us all the way up to the penthouse. We have 2 units in the front here. One of them is just got the floors refinished, so we're not gonna be able to take a look at that. But let's take a look. I love these front units. Okay, so construction zone, but the attention to detail in here. I'm telling you right now, you don't see this in most developments down here. These moldings, you can see those up on the top there. These moldings were all molded on site. So they had a company come out, build the molds, they poured them on site, let them cure, and they installed them. 8-foot doorways here. We have 10-foot ceilings. We're gonna have a nice big island right here, big tall windows. And then you have upper units. So these units come with 2 bedrooms upstairs and 1 bedroom, or well, a basement, which could also be used as a bedroom. All right, so this unit's gonna have a little porch here. See the City Modern across the street. Got your primary bathroom, which I love the honeycomb in here, honeycomb tile. This is gonna be all glass. I have a double vanity here. I just think this is so cool to kind of see this mid-project, and you know, you hear about these developments and you see the finished product, but you never actually get to see it in the construction. So this is gonna be another bath. Like we have your lights in here. There we go. Some nice modern classic look. Same flooring, honeycomb floor tile in here. And then all these doors are just solid oak doors. They got oak floor, hardwood floors, all oak handrails, all beautifully done. And if you guys know anything about me, I am always looking at attention to detail. So these things are done absolutely correct. Craftsmanship, the carpentry, all of that is absolutely beautiful. All right, and let's head downstairs, take a look at the basement. All right, so we got a little modern, but also bringing that character back with the brick. And this stone here, we're outside, there's actually a stone wall that they're building. And when the house was semi-demolished, but they wanted to take, you know, a few of the things out, they got all those bricks and those stones, and they're using those from the back of the house, and they're gonna be putting them as a retaining wall, you know, on the property outside. I'll show you, I'll go back out there. But this is the basement, all high-end, energy efficient in here, tankless hot water tank, all that good stuff. They're doing a great job in here. I'm not just saying this to, like, I've seen a couple of these projects and I've seen, you know, the shystiness of some of the developers. This guy's doing a great job. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at some of the finished product here, and you can see hardwood floors, all oak, look amazing, very tall windows. The ceiling height's actually the same as the front unit, but when you get to the upper units, you don't have the same ceiling height. So benefit of being on the main level is you got some great ceiling height here. 8-foot doors, kitchen island overlooking the living space here. Just really, you know, neutral colors in there, and you can get a little pop of color. Bring it here, bring your pinks, bring your blues, bring all that good stuff. One of the bedrooms, each of these bedrooms has their own bath, which I think is pretty cool for a condo. All right, so I was just chatting with Doug, the developer, a really cool guy. I mean, he's been doing this for 6 years, and as you can tell, this development has taken a long time. A lot of attention to detail in here. These are the stones that I was talking about in the basement. These are the actual original stones from the back wall of the house, and you'll see there was only really 3 walls standing when he took this building over, and those are the basement foundation walls that they dug out, and they're reusing them here on the property. But I just want to walk you around Brush Park here. Like I said, these are the City Modern condos behind us. Just to give you guys an idea of price point, you know, around here, price point of the development on the Glover House. There's condos in there for mid-5s, 600. The front 2 units are going for around 800, just over 800. These units here at City Modern. We did, and funny story is I was walking down here the other day with waiting for my client to show up, who we're showing that condo to. And I was walking to, I'm gonna take you to a little bodega around the corner, but I was walking and somebody had stopped me and said, "Hey, aren't you that True Living Michigan guy?" And of course I said, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Oh my God, I watch your channel." His name was Manny. He invited us over to take a look at his condo. So he lives here in City Modern. Really cool development here, 4 stories, but these are going for 1.2, 1.1, a little over 1.1, 1.2 with some upgrades that they did. But I thought that was pretty cool. And then these 2 houses here that we just passed, these are single family homes. So individual residents live there. And then this unit here, which is a really cool architecture. There's about 4 units in here as well, which are really nice. They have another development going on right over here. You can see more condos back here. So this little hotbed, all right, off of Edmond and Alfred, lots of condo developments going in. Now, they also do have rentals. So if you are looking for rentals, there's luxury lofts, luxury apartments, pretty much on every corner around here, in addition to all the condos and single family homes that are around here. So I wanted to give you guys a candid look at what's going on here in Brush Park, because there's a lot of development, as you can see, but there's still a long ways to go. I mean, a lot of vacant lots that are being built up. This one right behind me, another vacant lot, another one right behind that. There's a for sale sign on it, another one behind that. There's a for sale sign on it. Still some abandoned homes, down the way that they still haven't condemned or done anything with. But for the most part, I'm walking down here around 5 o'clock, like I mentioned. There's people out for jogs, runs, people going to dinner, a lot of young couples. I've seen, again, moms with strollers. So if you're thinking about, young families, living down here, people are doing it, So it's all just preference, on what's important to you, proximity to everything here. But, hopefully this helps, hopefully this helps give you guys a good look at what Brush Park is really like. So we're gonna hit some more neighborhoods just like this in Detroit, give you guys more of a behind the scenes look at what's going on here with the developments. Coming back up on the Glover house here, that is one heck of a project. I really like that. Doug, the owner, has done a great job in there. So, kudos to him. All right, so we're here on Alfred Street in Brush Park. There's a lot of cool historic homes right here that I wanted to show you guys. We're gonna circle back. There is a bodega on the corner, which if you're thinking about, groceries, where do I shop, where do I go to eat? There's a bodega on the corner there. Has pretty much all fresh produce. You got your dairy. They even have a bar in there. So it's pretty much everything you need. And then in addition to that, there's a Whole Foods right around the corner. But these 2 houses here, these are absolutely beautiful homes, as you can tell from the curb appeal. Just to give you an idea of price point on this one sold last year for around 1.6 million. And then right next door, they have these townhome units, which have been developed. So more of a modern look. Kind of like the appearance of it. Doesn't really fit in directly next to some of these beautiful historic homes, but I still like the look. And that's the cool thing about the redevelopment down here is, there's a lot of new styles, just modern, old, and it's kind of blended all together. So another nice one here. I think that's a split unit in that condo. And then you have this little kind of community area here, right between Edmond and Alfred, which I'm just gonna walk you through. Yeah, I thought this was a split unit, so this is unit number 2. So parking in the back. So you have garage access here, a little bit of privacy, balconies off the back. So hopefully this gives you guys a good idea of what Brush Park looks like and ultimately kind of what the vibe is down here. All right, so here's some more townhomes here as well. I believe these, when I was looking up the price of these ones, these were selling anywhere in the mid 5s to 600s. They weren't as expensive as some of the historic buildings, but the nice thing about these is it's really close to everything. So we're gonna talk about location in a minute and what's around here. All right, and this is one of my absolute favorite homes. This place is stunning. I mean, just look at this. I mean, the attention to detail on this type of home is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you're just watching me like in awe of this house because it's absolutely beautiful. And then right across the street, you have another development going in right here. You got Saucy's Coffee, a couple more restaurants around here as well. So a couple more developments right here. This one's being built out. They're putting more condos and townhomes on this lot as well. So it looks like they're gonna be, again, luxury condos built by Robinson Brothers. So Robinson Brothers doing some development down here as well. I mean, everybody is getting into the mix with developments in Detroit. You got some of the local builders that are now starting to do a lot more in here. Robinson Brothers usually sticks to, condos and single family homes out in like the Novi, Northville, Plymouth area, but they are doing more in the downtown area. Again, if you're looking for, some apartments to rent, these units here are leasing as well. See how friendly people are? Just waving to me and enjoying Brush Park. All right, so two really good places to eat if you're here in Brush Park. You're gonna wanna head to Grey Ghost, a little bit more upscale, but you also have Second Best, which is right across the street from Grey Ghost. That's gonna be a little bit more casual. You grab a beer, maybe a burger or something, but two great spots here in Brush Park as well. So coming up to Woodward, there's also more restaurants off of Woodward. You have Faux Lucky, which is across the street. I might actually go eat there. I've been wanting to eat there for a while now. It's kind of hot today. And then right around the corner, we have Bakersfield. So tacos, tequila, and whiskey, if you're into that. A lot more restaurants down the road as well, but also a lot more apartments, a lot more condos. You have the Scott Lofts here, which are luxury loft living. And then across the street, there is a pharmacy as well. There's a juicery right across the street as well. So you can check that out. And then we also have Wayne State's campus, which is just down the road. So as you can see, we're right here on Woodward. All right, and after you've tried pretty much every new restaurant here in Brush Park, which there's a ton of good ones, make sure you head over to F54, get your workout in, get your muscles a little bit swollen, burn off some of those calories. So you got gyms here. There is convenience stores, Coney Island, across the street. This is Empire Kitchen and Cocktails. Looks a little bit more casual, laid back. There is a Michigan State University campus down here as well, a satellite campus. All right, so if you're seriously considering making a move to Detroit, then by now you've probably been looking online, seeing a lot of the condos, a lot of the single family, a lot of the new developments, apartments, all the things that are happening in some of these areas like Brush Park, Corktown, Midtown, and there's a lot of them. So if you need help with that, don't forget to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd be happy to get you plugged in on the latest developments, even the ones that aren't on the market yet that we know are coming to fruition. So make sure you reach out. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that you might see on those listings. And if you're looking at the taxes, wondering what are my property taxes going to be like? Well, you've probably by now seen a lot of low property taxes on a lot of these new developments. And you might be asking yourself, is that real? I mean, is this just a typo? Have they not been able to update the taxes in Detroit because of everything going on, or they need to change ownership and the taxes are going to rise? Well, that's not the case on most of them. What you're seeing is likely the taxes that you're going to pay with a slight variation of some of these things. So what the city did when they started really getting developers downtown and soliciting new developments and saying, hey, if you're going to buy this property, you need to develop it. And oh, by the way, we also need to get people to live here. So how are we going to do that if the rest of the area kind of looks a little bit run down and things like that? So one of the things they did was what's called a tax abatement. So the tax abatement essentially freezes in your taxes for the next 15 years. This is called the Neighborhood Enterprise Zone, or NEZ, and there's a couple different variations of it. There's NEZ new construction, there's NEZR, which is rehab, and each of those is going to give you a different tax bracket for your property taxes. Just to give you an example, some of the places that you're seeing that are being rehabbed, those taxes could be as little as $1,000 a year for the next 15 years, right? So when you look at the taxes and you might be asking yourself, well, is that real? Look for the NEZ. You know, if they're calling it out in the listing description, or better yet, just ask us. We'd be happy to get you information on it. But those are real, so just keep that in mind. So if you are going to be buying a property downtown Detroit, you know, make sure you're looking for these NEZ zones. There's a map of them. You can actually look them up, find out where the NEZs are taking place. They're pretty much in all the major areas: Midtown, Corktown, you know, Brush Park. All those areas are going to have NEZ, and that can be a really nice savings for you when you purchase the property as well. And if you do have any questions about the NEZ program, you know, definitely reach out. I know it can be difficult to kind of sort through all the paperwork. There are a few things that we have that we can provide you to bring clarity to what the NEZ programs are and how to go about understanding what exactly is applying to each of the developments down there. All right, so as you guys can tell, there's so many developments going on here in Brush Park. This is actually going to be a city park. So they're turning this into a park area. This have playscapes for the kids, just some green space to go, kind of hang out, relax, and it's right in the middle of Brush Park. So one of the reasons why there's so many developments in this particular area is for location, you know, and that's the #1 location here. We are literally 5 minutes walking distance to Little Caesars Arena, which is right across the street. We're 5 minutes walking distance to the Fox Theater. We are 8 minutes walking distance to Comerica Park, which you can see. I don't know if you can see that right through there. There's the GM building down there as well. And then we're 10 minutes to Ford Field, super close to downtown. If you want to walk to Campus Martius, just call it 25 minutes to Campus Martius, where they have the ice skating rink in the winter time. They have just events, vendors out there. Just a really cool spot to go, you know, kind of hang out. And while you're walking there, you're gonna walk down Woodward and you're gonna hit all of the new shopping stores. So you're gonna pass the Nike store, Lululemon, all the new clothing stores that are down there. And there's just so many other stores opening on Woodward. So that's kind of the new shopping district down there. All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now, this is a question that we get often, and it's a question that you might be asking yourself, and you're like, Eric, I see Brush Park. It's up and coming, a lot of cool developments, a lot of nice buildings. What parts are you not showing me? And what do I need to know about the safety of these areas? Well, there's only so many things I can say about the safety as a real estate professional. I will point you to some data, urge you to look at the crime stats, and urge you to just kind of check it out for yourself. But I want to share, you know, my personal experience with you, because I've been to these places, you know, a bunch of times, looking at the new developments, getting plugged in with the developers, just kind of keeping tabs on what's going on for you guys who are looking to move to Detroit or the areas. And I personally never felt unsafe in these areas. Now, are there parts of Detroit that I don't feel safe in? Absolutely. Detroit's a massive city, but some of these newer developments, I don't personally feel unsafe in. So, you know, I want to share what happened when I was shooting this video, because I think it's a testament to, you know, how the community has rallied around some of these new developments and just made it a place where, you know, they provide their own, you know, alertness and safety to the area. So, you know, it was actually the complete opposite. Like, I felt very safe, you know, walking around Brush Park, talking to people and doing my thing. But as soon as I pulled out the camera and, you know, started recording a lot of things, I felt the opposite of, like, I felt safe, but I didn't feel like everybody around me was super comfortable, you know, with what I was doing. And that happens from time to time, just not in Detroit. That's not a Detroit thing. But I took special note of this because it was something that I hadn't seen, you know, before. There was neighbors that apparently called the police, you know, said, hey, there's somebody around taking pictures, taking video. He's in this vehicle. They gave him the description. And when I got back from, you know, taking B-roll and taking some A-roll around Brush Park, I was sitting in my car, kind of sorting through the files, sorting through the footage and making sure I got everything. And a squad car pulls up. And at first I really didn't think they were there to talk to me. They kind of looked like there was a car that was trying to pass, and they were just kind of hanging back, waiting for the car to move a little along. And the car passed, and the cop car was still there. And so I rolled down my window and just said, you know, can I help you? And the officer said, hey, we've had some reports of you, you know, taking some videos. We just want to know what you're up to. So I just said, hey, I'm making a YouTube video. But that all happened within about 30 minutes. You know, so from the time I started, you know, recording some things and that squad car getting there, they had taken notice of that. So the community has kind of rallied around, and if anything seems out of place or out of sorts, apparently they're going to make known. Right. So I just thought that was great. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. They weren't questioning me. Everything I was doing was legal in terms of recording. I got permission, to go into the Glover house and record that from the owner. So nothing I was doing was illegal, but people still took notice and they made the authorities aware, hey, something feels out of sorts. You should come check it out. All right. I am sweating. It's hot out today. So as you can see, got sweat pouring down my forehead. But we walked, I think, just at least 2 miles, in Brush Park, just kind of showing you guys around, showing you some of the new developments. Still can't get over that Glover house. I mean, absolutely insane. Doug, who was the developer, awesome guy, just didn't want to really be on camera. So I got to respect that, from him, but he's doing some really cool things. One of the things that he told me while I was there, he showed us that carriage stone. There's also tons of these little things that kind of tie back to the historic part of the Glover house when it was first built to today. And the slate roof, which is a multicolored slate. So when you look at it, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. That was really bad shape when they took it over. So they salvaged what they could off of it, but they went to the quarry that it was actually sourced from and got that exact stone and replaced all the slate on the roof. I think that's just amazing. You hear those type of stories of people putting this time and attention into it. That's the type of development that's really cool down here. Some of these other newer developments, they're nice, right? They fit in, they're more modern, they're more, what people are looking for, I will say. They have the shiny objects, but the quality in the Glover house, absolutely untouched, with some of these new developments. So if you have any appreciation for the architect, there, you can appreciate them sourcing that stone from the original quarry. Just thought that was pretty cool. All right, so there you have it. That's a look into Brush Park. Shout out to Doug and his team for letting us tour the Glover house. That absolutely blew me away. There's so much detail that goes into that place. And shout out to the police, for making Brush Park a safe place. Shout out to the community for being vigilant, being on your toes, making sure I'm not stirring up any trouble down there, which I wasn't. I just wanted to document and make sure, other people can see what Brush Park is all about. So just to recap, location wise, Brush Park is absolutely amazing. It's close to Little Caesars Arena, Comerica Park, Ford Field, all within walking distance. You got 2 grocery stores right around the corner. You got Whole Foods and the bodega. And then there's the Detroit Medical Center just down the road as well. So you got the major hospital system there. So you're right in the mix of everything. You got restaurants and places to go, bars, nightlife. So you got freeway access right there. You got 75 to get in and out of the city pretty quickly. And special shout out to my friend Manny. Thanks for stopping me on the street. It was great meeting you. Showing me your condo was absolutely amazing. 4 floors of just luxury modern living in downtown Detroit in Brush Park. So that was really cool. Thanks for all the support on the channel and for tuning in all the time. This True Living Michigan guy really appreciates it. And if you're thinking about moving to Detroit in 1 month or 1 year from now, do not hesitate to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or better yet, my favorite, schedule that Zoom call so we can meet in person, face to face, and help you make better decisions when moving here to Michigan. And if you still need to do a little bit more homework on some of the cities here in Michigan, we got a ton more videos on the channel you can go check out. We got a few more right here as well, so check those out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.